On Friday, January 26th of 2018, a bill criminalising the use of the term Polish death camps or suggesting, contrary to evidence, that the Polish state shared responsibility for the crimes committed by Nazi Germany during the Second World War was given the green light. Despite the bill, often referred to in the media as the Holocaust Bill, stating that the law wouldn't cover artistic work or any further research into the Holocaust conducted by historians, a shitstorm was brewing, and it erupted the following day. First, Israeli opposition party leader and George Clooney lookalike Yair Lapid tweeted in a fit of rage that he condemned the law and said there were in fact Polish death camps. But those who thought this was just the overreaction of a leftist madman were soon to be proven wrong, because not long later, Israeli Prime Minister old Bibi Netanyahu himself proposed the law, calling it baseless, and ordering the Israeli ambassador in Poland, Anna Azari, to immediately meet with the Polish Prime Minister and pass on his angry message. Of course, with Bibi triggered and much of the Israeli government now furious with the Poles, the Israeli media decided to start spitting venom and calling them a bunch of anti-Semites. This included quotes such as, "Grandma always told us that the Poles were more horrible than the Germans," and "Hitler knew the Poles would cooperate, and so the killing of the Jews happened mostly in Poland." One reporter, Lahav Harkov, wrote an entire opinion piece in the Jerusalem Post about how she is now public enemy #1 in Poland after getting negative reactions for provocatively tweeting Polish death camps 14 times. Sorry, Lahav, you're about as much public enemy #1 in Poland as Johnny Daniels is Poland's best-known Jew, a guy who before last year nobody in Poland had ever heard of. Poland, slightly surprised by the backlash to the potential law aiming to fight false accusations against the country, particularly since Israeli representatives had known it was being put together before it was officially announced, did try to calm the situation down a little, with various politicians, including the Prime Minister and President themselves, giving their take on the situation. Polish President Andrzej Duda tweeted,
"Modern patriotism is also the defending of historical truths on social media. To all of those involved in defending the good name of Poland, also here on Twitter, I thank you."
Seeing that despite mass protest, Poland was attempting to press on with the bill, Israel decided to throw its toys out of the pram, by first introducing a new legislation that would deem the Polish law Holocaust denial, and then thinking of recalling the Israeli ambassador from Poland. Interestingly, it wasn't just Israel. The USA also decided to get involved. First, a bunch of American senators sent a letter to the Polish president, putting pressure on him to veto the bill. Then, the US Department of State spokesman published a press statement encouraging Poland to re-evaluate the legislation, as they felt that in its current form, it could have repercussions on Poland's strategic interests and relationships with the United States and Israel. Wonder if the USA's involvement had anything to do with the S-447 Justice for Uncompensated Survivors bill they introduced early last year and debated in the Senate in December. And that just might be the crux of the issue and an answer to the question that some people have been asking. Why would Israel and America react so strongly against a bill that they have misread as completely relieving Poland of any responsibility during the Holocaust? Well, if Poland is seen as innocent and considered a victim of the Nazi German occupation, wouldn't it be that much harder to demand more compensation from them? After all, how can you demand compensation from a fellow victim? Back to the Polish bill, though. It was passed by the Senate in the early hours of the morning on February 1st by an overwhelming majority and left to the President to sign. At the time of making this video, President Duda had 3 weeks to either sign or veto the bill. Depending on when you're watching this, you may already know the outcome.